Welcome in hour two. Let's get into it, boys. Let me drop this down real quick and let's talk a little Jayden Reed. I ain't gonna lie, man. This pissed me off earlier today. There's nothing I can stand more, or can't stand more, I should say, than phantom stats where people have the luxury of just saying, here are the stats. And you go, how'd you get that? Show me the plays. And crickets, right? Nobody will back it up with any tape. So this kind of happened in talks with Jayden Reed earlier today. And again, I'm not saying Jayden Reed is a top 5 receiver in the league. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's, should be considered a Justin Jefferson. I'm simply saying these people that are pretending like he is such a bad football player have lost their damn minds. So Warren Sharp put a tweet out earlier today. Now, I want you to listen to it. I'm going to try to walk everybody along here, okay? He said highest percentage of receiver error causing incompletions. Have you guys, raise your hand if you've ever heard of a statistic that was referred to as receiver error causing incompletions?
Nope, new to me.
I said, this is going to be good.
His receiving is tough.
So I cannot wait to see how they came up with this. Well, it took me forever to dig through and try to find what. First of all, you don't even have a real formula. I want you to look at his formula here, okay? So somebody said, love to know how errors were calculated. Here's what Warren Sharp said. Percentage of attempts that were incomplete due to receiver errors, such as receiver drops, lost control at the ground, didn't get both feet in bounds but should have, fell down, and a couple other smaller instances.
None of which I can define or back up with tape.
Exactly. It broke me down, Tim. A couple other smaller instances. What the hell does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
That just covers him. Him saying that gives him freedom to this, yeah.
Right. Well, you don't know how we did this. And that's what bothers me about PFF from time to time, because it's here's our stats, but they won't tell you here's the play. All you got to do is down distance on this play. If you're charting the game like you're claiming you're charting the game, you should have that. Third quarter, 152 left, 3rd and 8. There's a drop, right? Yeah. That's how you chart games. So this is what I tweeted back. I quote tweeted him and said, if you don't know the play call, you don't know the play call that was called in from Coach LaFleur, right? You have no idea what the play call was. You don't know the choice routes that are attached to that specific play. You guys hear me all the time on Chalk Talk. We'll go, I think this is the play call, and we'll rattle it off. However, we don't know if there's a choice route called on that play. Mm-hmm. We don't know if that receiver ran the wrong play or not. Nobody knows. He could have, right? I'll tell you who's a good gauge of it is Kurt Warner, because he's played in an NFL offense and he knows what to look for. And if you had told me, if Kurt Warner had sent that tweet out, I'd go, touche. Mm-hmm. My man, Hall of Fame quarterback, knows what the hell he's talking about. We don't even know who – it's like what Michael Lombardi always said, Emilio. You have to evaluate the evaluator, right? Who's evaluating the evaluator? Who's grading the guy who's grading the tape? Nobody. We don't even know who the hell they are.
Who the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way?
Perfect job. And so we don't know the choice routes. We don't know the play call. We don't know the line checks. We don't know how many – when Jordan comes to the line, you see him. We don't know what he's checking to. You don't know what he's checking. How can you possibly say a receiver ran the wrong route or a receiver made an error on this play when you don't even know what the check was? And we don't even know what the quarterback signals are, because you see him come to a line. Remember last year you seen Jordan look over to the right and tap his watch, right? He pointed to his – and what he was doing was changing the play up and basically calling a seam route to Tucker Kraft. Well, we know that, right? Because the play worked, Jordan went straight to him, knew exactly where he was going with the football, right? Mm-hmm. If Tucker had ran another route, we don't know if Tucker had run the wrong route or Jordan, didn't understand the check he was trying to make, right? We never know that information. So I just want to put that out. And I said, how do you know the receiving errors outside of drops, which even vary from side to side? You can go to PFF and look at drops, and you go to ESPN and look at drops, and they're different. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, who's evaluating the tape? So he went on to say, among 103 players with over 60 targets, Jayden Reed was 103 and Dontavion Wicks was 102. The two highest rates of wide receiver error causing incompletions of any two players in the NFL. Absolutely terrible.
Based upon what?
Exactly. Now, here's the thing that gets me. I put this tweet out earlier in the year. Now, imagine a world where both of these things can be possible. That Jayden Reed made the most errors of any wide receiver in the entire National Football League, okay? But he still had more yards in 24 on 19 less targets than 23. His catch percentage increased from 68.1% to 73.3%. He averaged 3.2 yards more per reception. His catch rate over expected increased by 0.2%, and his yak over expected increased by 41 yards. And oh, by the way, he just happened to be the leading receiver in passer rating when targeted. Somebody explain to me how in the hell the receiver that made the most errors on incompletions, whatever that means, again, we don't know what that means.
Whatever that means. Other smaller things.
Right.
Still led the league with a 137.5 passer rating when targeted. How can both of those things be true? Somebody help me here.
I don't think
one is rooted in reality, the other in fantasy. And if you teeter back and forth between the fantasy world that you've created for yourself and reality, I guess they can both be true, right?
Yeah. I mean, it blew me away. And somebody had the best response. They said, I'm trying to think. I think it was Anthony is his name. He's followed the channel for a while and our Twitter account for a while. Ed Madden said Warren Sharp is farting out the wrong end. What?
You think God never farted?
What Anthony said on X was, yeah, this is that dude that says, trust me, bro, buy my book. If you subscribe to Sharp Analysis, his website, it's over $1,000 a year is what it costs.
Wow.
it does.
So if you want to know how he did it, send me a check. You know what I mean? Type thing. So anyway, it's just really, really strange. So anyway, so here's what I did today. I had a little bit extra time with the rain. Having access to every single Jayden Reed 2024 target makes tweets like Sharp's very easy to debunk. When you mention Jayden Reed's NFL leading 137.5 passer rating when targeted, the pushback you typically get is, quote, he was horrible in the second half of the season, though. Right? How many times have we heard that? Well, go look at the second half of the season. He was bad. He was horrible. Okay. Let's take a look at every single Jayden Reed target that fell incomplete in the last 5 games of the season. I did 5 because I'm not combing through the whole second half. Let's look at the last 5 games of the season. Down the stretch when it matters the most, right? This is where supposedly Jayden Reed played his absolute worst football. In the last 5 weeks of the 24-25 season, playoffs including, Jayden Reed was targeted 20 times, with only 5 falling incomplete. I repeat, he was throwing the ball 20 times. 15
of them.
5 of them fell. No, they fell incomplete, Tim. 5 fell.
That's what I'm saying. So, these are all okay.
So check
20
this.
targets with only 5 falling incomplete. So that would be 15 catches then, right?
Right. Of those 5 passes, 5 were incompletions, right? 3 don't touch his hands. 1, he slipped and fell running the route. Okay. So 3 of them couldn't have been a drop because they never touched his damn hands. 2 of them were inaccurate throws, and 1 he fell down. 1 got defended through his back where the DB came in from Minnesota and punched through his back, and you see Jayden Reed calling for a flag. You can see it plain as day. It was pass interference that didn't get called. I'm not worried about the flag. I'm just simply pointing, is that a drop? That's a drop that the defender hit him when the ball got there and the ball flew out. That's called a pass defended, not a drop.
Not
right?
a drop.
That's the way I see it. He caught all 4 targets in the playoff game against Philly, right? People were saying, we really needed him in Philly. He disappeared. He was targeted 4 times. He caught the ball 4 times. I don't know what else he could have done there, right? So he finished the season, like I said, with the second highest passer rating when targeted. So now we're going to take a risk here. I'm going to do it anyway, all right? We're going to go to the tape, and we'll see. This is going to be a good test for us tonight, all right? And see if the stream goes down, guys. If the stream goes down, it'll come back up. If it doesn't come back up in time, you got something to do. I'll make sure this video is cut, edited, and approved by YouTube so their crappy AI does not screw up somebody's channel like it always does. All right. Here are those 5 incompletions we just talked about. I've got them all on tape here. Y'all ready to hit it?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. So here we go. If you'll notice, Jayden Reed is right here. He's the number 3. You can see my cursor, right? Yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the number 3 receiver. 1, 2, 3. They're in a trips right or what we call a nub left look. Let's watch the route here. All right. So he's going to run an out route. That's where he slips down. Okay. And falls. Not a drop. He slipped running the route. Call that an error. I'm totally cool with it. Let's call it one of Warren Sharp's errors here that he mentioned, right? So there's one of the 5 incompletions. Here's the second one up here. Again, he's the 3. We always talk about speed to 3. There he is in the 3 again, and they're going nub right this time. Let's watch him on this route. Come out, going to run a deep corner route. Notice the ball never touches his hands. It's overthrown. You with me?
Well, he should have laid out and dove for it and caught it.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, Tim, because we got one of those coming up here, right? So the ball never touched his hands. Right here is the one where I think the defender goes through his back, I believe. Yeah, this is it right here. First of all, no. This is different.
That's already holding right there.
Watch Jayden's going to run kind of a crosser here. Watch where Jordan throws the football.
Oh, yeah.
The ball is back here behind him.
Yeah, he threw the ball back to Green Bay on that play.
Again, so I'm guessing Warren Sharp said that's an error on Jayden Reed somehow, some way, right? I guess he was in the huddle and knew what the play call was, Who knows, right? So again, I don't know if it was intercepted or not, but it doesn't really matter. Now here's another one. Jayden Reed is now on the number 2 up here. They're in a Trey Wright look, right? There's Tucker is the 3, Jayden's the 2. I'm pretty sure. Let's watch this route here. This is the one we were talking about, Tim. This people were going to catch the ball, Jayden. That's a drop, right? Look, bad throw, full extension. Can you see him?
Mm-hmm.
Full extension hits his hands. That's considered a drop, I guess.
A ball that's thrown 6 inches off the turf. Yeah.
Honestly, a ball that's a little late. You run that back a little bit. Love should have had that to him.
Yeah, he could have hit him in stride.
Yeah, there's going to be another one late here in a minute too.
Tuck clears so fast, right there. Look how open this quick slant is. But he's looking. He's looking left, right? So he's waiting for Romeo to clear out. That doesn't open. He gets to Jayden Reed late.
Yep. And then again, look at where the pass is.
Yep. And he's also getting his tackle blocked right into his face as he's throwing that late pass as well.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad you said that, Tim. This is not to take shots at Jordan. We're not saying Jordan. Oh, this is horrible. I'm simply these throws happen, but if we're going to mark that as a drop, you better go back across the entire freaking league and mark the drops accurately. Then, because this is not a wide receiver drop in my opinion.
Yeah, an incomplete pass is different than a drop pass in my opinion.
Exactly, and it just so happened that was on 4th down, so you had the crybabies on Twitter kicking and screaming, "Catch the ball!" That's exactly. So. With that being said, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is the one I think, this is going to be the one that is should have been a pass interference call. So Jayden, I'm pretty sure, is working across the middle, kind of a little slot cross look. Now, look right here. The ball should be out. Look how open Jayden Reed is right here, right? So Jayden is just going to sit down in this zone and wait for the football and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, right? And then you see the defender come through his back, hit him in the back before the ball got there, and jars it loose. You see Jayden calling for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many drops did we see on those 5 incompletions in the last 5 games of the season?
I'm going to go with 0.
Like, if you were to say, no, that's a drop there. The defender hit him, and the defender broke it up, and that's okay, cool. Let's call it a drop. Let's do that. Fine. Are you going to say the diving attempt was a drop? And again, we pointed these plays out in the second half of the season, really simple, because when we mention how good of a year Jayden Reed had, it's, the second half of the season was crappy. He had 20 targets his last 5 games of the season, 20 targets. He caught 15 of them. In the 5 incompletions, you could maybe argue that one was a drop. What are we even talking about here? Yep. So get your all's thoughts on it. I about lost my mind when I seen that stat, just how vague that stat was. And I'm like, I wanted to tweet at him and go, damn, Warren, is your engagement down that far, bub? Is that what's going on? You trying to do a little farming over there? Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Clint says he's charging $1,000 for this horse poop. And again, here's the thing, right? People don't expect you to go check this stuff. You know why? Because most people, especially the critics, the harsh critics, they're too lazy to watch the tape. And when they watch the tape, they don't even know what they're looking for, right? And then even when you watch the tape, you've got to run it through the filter of, we don't know what the play call exactly was. We don't know what the choice routes were. We don't know what the checks were at the line. We don't know what the hand signal, all those things, right? Yep. So
you can watch tape all you want. What are you watching? That's the other thing. What are you looking for when you're watching the all 22 or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
I think what stands out to me is your point about Emilio picked that up right away, that especially that late read, really. It was a late throw because the read was late coming over to Bird. I think that's one part of the game or one part of Jordan Love's game that I think this year in 2025, we're going to see more decisive, quicker reads. I think he's going to get to his second or third progression on time. We won't have to worry about a panicked, rushed late throw at somebody's shoelaces. I think we're going to see more in rhythm throws from Jordan this year. That's my way too early prediction.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, Tim. And yeah, it's just you think that you're taking it away from him, but Jayden Reed over here he's being, head down, humble, keeps going, but nothing said about the deep bomb around 4 people that he made the catch on. You know what I mean? So it's like anything I can find negative of him, but you're not pushing up any positive. And then when you bring it up, Clay, with the best receiver rating, how can you not take that not into consideration? But how do those numbers match up? I think that's a absolutely fair point.
Yeah, I mean that's again, it's not to go. Let me go prove him wrong. Please don't take this the wrong way. The way I approach stuff like this when I disagree is go, damn, I might have gotten it wrong. Let me go look at the tape.
Right, yeah.
That's all we're doing. We're just simply, let's go check it and see if I'm wrong here, right? So Holmes in the chat, people no longer appreciate nuance. No one wants to put in the work to really learn the game. It's so much more depthful if more would do so. The thing is, if there are fans out there that just want to, and I hate using the word casual fan because I hear other podcasters saying it makes me cringe. Yeah. If you just want to be a fan that watches the game and you don't care about the X's and O's, there's nothing wrong with that. You kidding me? It's probably more enjoyable than me over here losing my mind watching every single position, every single game.
But if that's your style of fanning, don't jump up in a film study and criticize people who are trying to learn,
Yeah, and darn sure don't climb in people's mentions. It's amazing how many people climb in the mentions and not even know what they're talking. And here's the other thing: there's no point in even arguing. Like I heard somebody say it the other day. It was like they don't do social media. I don't do social media. It's like, why don't you do social media, man? It's a great tool. It's good for gathering news. Whatever. Following your favorite sports team. It was because people go on there and they have arguments that they would not have face-to-face. They have arguments that they would never have with someone face-to-face because that's not how you communicate. It's like, this is a mental illness that people want to go on social media and start an argument knowing that you wouldn't communicate with that person in person. It's like this secondary identity or something, right? It's like it's why we say what we say on here all the time. If I wouldn't say it to a player's face, if I wouldn't say it to a coach's face, I'm not going to say it on the show. Right. That's weird. That's really, really weird. It is. So
Too Old for This says, I'm a semi-formal fan, not a casual fan.
I thought it said normal fan. I was going to poll that on it.
And then we got Greg Rice said, I'm an oscillating fan.
Nothing wrong with oscillating fan, especially when you lived in the trailer park like I did as a kid. Man, those things, boy, they bail you out in the middle of July, I promise. So, all right, I love the squeak.
Ron Sandville says, I am a box fan. All right.
You guys are out of control.
And we lost it.
Yeah, it's officially
there goes them chat ratings.
All right, so to the best of my knowledge, YouTube stayed up, so we're going to push